I've done some digging, not a tremendous amount, but enough surface digging to where I found something unexpected, something with the Panthers and our current state that I haven't heard anybody talk about. I haven't even thought about it. I don't think anybody's mentioned it. But when I saw it, it's like a big flashing red light in my face. So I'm going to read off to you some stats that I dug up. And then when I get to the last thing, this is something is worth looking at, wondering about, etc. So there has been all of this talk about how have the Panthers been without Ekblad and Montour and before and with Ekblad and Montour. And, you know, I had a couple of theories about kind of some of the things that were happening. I wouldn't say I proved them right. I would say that it's leaning a little bit in a certain direction. But then I found something completely unexpected, and it's definitely worth talking about. So the team's record without Ekblad and Montour was 10-5-1. Team's record with is 7-6-1. So obviously we were winning 2 for every 1 without them, and now we are quite literally a 500 team with them. So much for surviving without them. Now, in terms of goals against and goals for, it could not be any more muddy. It couldn't be any more muddy. I went into it hoping that I would find something that would clear some things up, and all I did was shake my head and go, I can't believe that is how it's gone. So these are goals for. These are goals scored. Without Ekblad and Montour, we scored 50 goals in 16 games. So we were scoring at a 3.125 goals a game. Okay, 3.125 goals for. We scored 41 goals in 15 games with Ekblad and Montour, which is 273. So we are scoring about 0.4 goals a game less with Ekblad and Montour. However, goals against. Without Ekblad and Montour, we allowed 45 goals in 16 games, so we were allowing 2.8 goals per game. With Ekblad and Montour, we are allowing 36 goals in 15 games for 2.4 goals against, which means we are scoring 0.4 goals less, but allowing 0.4 goals less. It's the same. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's within a fraction of a thousandth of decimal point. Basically, it's the exact same thing. We're scoring 0.4 less, but we are allowing 0.4 less. I said, well, where the hell, what's going on? And I went down a couple of guys on the roster, and then I found this. And there's a couple of stats here. The first one is telling, and then the second one almost fell out of my chair. I went and I looked at Tkachuk's numbers. Tkachuk, without Ekblad and Montour, 3 goals and 14 assists. Chucky, with Ekblad and Montour, 2 goals and 3 assists. So he went from more than a point a game to 5 points in 15 games since they've come back. That is an astronomical drop off. But wait, there's more. This is the one, the stat that I'm about to give you. This is the one that really has me perplexed, confused, concerned, and a little bit worried. Now, to give you context, last season I added it up 5 times. 5 times last year, Matthew Tkachuk played less than 17 minutes. 5 times the entire season last year, Matthew Tkachuk played less than 17 minutes. Since Ekblad and Montour have come back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times since Ekblad and Montour have come back, Tkachuk has played less than 17 minutes. Plus the one game where he only played 17 minutes and 6 seconds, and that was the game in Toronto. That was overtime. So since Ekblad and Montour have come back, Chucky has gone down to about a point per 3 games and has had his ice time reduced significantly to the point where just in the games since Ekblad and Montour have come back, he's played fewer than 17 minutes more times than he did the entire season last year. That's a huge drop-off. He was more than a point per game while they were gone, and he's a point per 3 games since they've come back, and his ice time has dropped off the face of the earth. In the 16 games before Ekblad and Montour came in, he had less than 17 minutes one time. And since then, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And where's the Ottawa game? The Ottawa game is one of them. So that takes into consideration because that's the 10-minute, with all those penalties. So one of those 6 times. But still, the bottom line is that since those guys have come back, his ice time, and look, that's less than 17 minutes. There's multiple games where he's less than 17 minutes. There's the 6 times. His ice time other than that, he's got one game at 18:30, the one game at 17:06, and there's a drop off here. And this is when we have to consider maybe something happened. Ekblad and Montour, when he comes back, when they came back, his ice time the next games were 20:37, 20:15, and then against Boston on the 22nd, he played 22:27. After that, his ice time, 15:18, 16:33, 17:06, 15:49. He then played 21:13 against the Islanders on the 2nd. On December 6th, after having all of those games off, after having all the days off, against Dallas, he played 14:24. The next game against Pittsburgh, 16:54. The next game against Columbus, 18:37. Seattle, 18:30. He played 20 minutes against Vancouver. He played 16:21 against Edmonton, and then he played 21 last night against the Flames. He has 1 goal and 3 assists since Ekblad and Montour came back, and 2 of those assists were in the Edmonton and Calgary games last night. So previous to those 2 games, he had 1 goal and 1 assist since Ekblad and Montour came back. Now, I don't know why that's happening, but that's happening.